Council of Dads, Episode 7. I'm gonna do this review a little bit differently. I'm gonna talk about the things I didn't like about the characters in this episode, and I'm gonna talk about some highlights on what they did and just about this episode in general. So let's talk about Lily and Evan. Here's the thing about those two that I'm not really a fan of, and this is the reason why I haven't been a fan of them since the first episode, is that I felt like everything was rushed way too fast to get to this point. Like, there's certain things that happens, and it only really happens the way it does because they're married. And let's be honest, they got married way too young, way too fast. Lily is a waitress. She's still in school to be a writer. Evan doesn't have a job. At this point, he is borrowing money, getting loans just to sit there and fix up this house, which is a dumpster fire, by the way. And so a lot of these problems, they're arguing the fact that she doesn't really the fact that Lily doesn't get along with Evan's mother is all because of the fact that they got married way too fast and they know practically nothing about each other. Let's talk about Anthony for a minute. Anthony's a coward. Anthony is the type of guy that is not reliable. And for me, when I watch this episode in particular, I sit there and think, what does everyone see in him? Like, what does everyone see in him? What makes him so great other than the fact that he knew Scott? Okay, he was Scott's best friend. That's great. But, there was an episode before that, a couple episodes, where, he wasn't really showing up as much to sit there and help out with the kids and things of that nature. And, he was always, blowing them off. Larry said that, he seems like the type of guy that isn't reliable. And he's just a coward in general. This episode, granted, it would have been so much more shorter if he would have told people the reason of why he was leaving town. So let's get into it a little bit. Just some highlights. But pretty much this episode is about him telling everyone that he's leaving town and just the fallout from it. Everyone, the kids are they're trying to ask him to stay. People are trying to ask him to stay. As far as Robin, she's asking the reason of why he's leaving. Margaret's there asking the reason why he's leaving. And everyone's there trying to have theories about why he's leaving. And the truth of the matter is, he's leaving because he doesn't want to tell people that he is Lily's bio dad. So it's pretty much like pulling teeth with this guy. There's a scene towards the end where, yes, he does finally tell Robin, and he tells everyone else, that he's Lily's bio dad. But there's a scene in the car where she's like, are you sick? Do you have feelings for me? What is it? You can tell me. Just tell me. Please tell me. And this goes on for I felt like it went on for a good minute and a half. And it was like pulling teeth with this guy. Literally, he's like, oh, I can't, and I'm this. And he's just making up excuse after excuse after excuse. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, just you can tell her already. He is just a very annoying character. But again, my biggest pet peeve is that he's a coward. As far as the other characters go, the kids, it's nothing really major that happens with them. Oliver and his husband, gets a call from the adoption agency that they are going to be able to adopt. And throughout the episode, they go back and forth, should they or should they not? And, the big question is now, are they actually going to take out this adoption agency as far as, adopting this child? There's some stuff that happens between Lully and Evan's mom. Well, but no, actually no, it's between Lully and Evan. They have this huge blow up because Lully is pretty much just getting tired of Evan's mom constantly judging her and talking down to her. And so they get into this argument in church, and Lully's like, are you leaving? I'm done with these people. Everyone is being judgmental. I am done. And she's like, I'm ready to leave. Are you coming with me? And Evan stays with his mom. And to be honest, I felt kind of bad for Evan because he's literally like, caught between two women that he loves. And it just sucks for him. And at first, I was annoyed with the mother because, again, she is coming down on her, asking her, oh, when are you going to be selling these stories? And, when am I going to be seeing this house? And, just pretty much what they're saying, like, she's just being judgmental and she just doesn't like Evans, she doesn't like Lully. And at first, I was like, wow, she is just being really nasty. But towards the end of the episode, you find out that she just wants her son to do better, to be better. She feels like, the generation, as far as them, just wants a handout, And to some extent, she's not entirely wrong. I forgot what episode it was, but pretty much Lully wanted the council dad to bail them out of the crappy house that they got. So she's not wrong. Anyway, they patched things up, Lully and Evan. But I'm just like, this is the problems that arise from, well, y'all getting married too soon, and y'all not knowing each other, and y'all not really having your finances together. This is the shit that happens. There's a scene I do want to talk about between, I guess, the cop that Robin dated. So, how do I describe this? There's a scene after Robin helps give birth to this woman, and the cop was on the scene, and he wants to make sure that, that they're good and everything is fine, that she pulled through. And so, I think last episode or the episode before that, they're on a date, Robin and this cop. I forgot his name, but the thing that really annoyed me was that they go out, she gets dressed up, just to sit there and tell her, by the way, I'm going to sit there and try to, work things out with my wife or whatever. We're going to try again. And I'm like, bro, you couldn't have did that shit over the phone. Like, really? You got her out, you got her all dressed up and everything like that. And then the entire time you're sitting there saying, well, I didn't really want to ruin this date. What other way could this date have went? You honestly thought that, oh, you were just going to tell her that, and then y'all were just going to laugh and hang out and just have a good time afterwards. So, after he asks Robin how the patient was doing, he goes into this long, drawn-out story about how, him and his wife tried again, and it didn't work out. And he's like, well, since that didn't really pretty much work out, I want to know, could we try again? And I'm like, whoa, let me just get this shit straight. So, you're pretty much saying to her that she's a consolation prize. Wow. Robin, you really know how to pick them. I'm not gonna lie, I'm partly sitting there thinking, if this is your taste in men, what was Scott like? Anyway, to make a long story short, she agrees. And I'm like, wow. So this guy pretty much just said to you that you're a consolation prize and you're totally fine with that. yeah, and that's pretty much what happens. She says yes, and they're gonna try again. And I'm just like, the hell is wrong with you? I don't know. I would feel some sort of way if I want to be with somebody and they finally broke up with someone after we didn't work out and she chose that person over me, and since that didn't work out, she's just gonna choose me again. Like, I don't know. Anyway, Larry celebrated 5 years of being sober. So it was nice seeing when he was in group, you know, telling the story about, you know, him being sober, him trying to be sober and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, that was pretty much all that happened. Yeah. This episode, I don't know. I have problems with certain characters. I have problems with the way this whole thing was set up, and yeah, it wasn't a great episode. It wasn't terrible, but anyway, that's gonna do it for this review of Council of Dads. Let me know if you like this style or if you prefer the style where I pretty much kind of just talk about everything that happens. I know someone in the comment section wanted me to be more concise and just to the point. So, I don't know. I hope this review kind of works a little more better than the last one. And if not, I'll just keep trying until I get it right. But I want to thank people who actually are watching these reviews. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you think of this show, by the way. Do you actually like it? Do you not like it? What are your thoughts, your concerns, your problems, your stuff that you like? Leave it down in the comment section, and I will catch you in the next review.